So I'm feeling a bit like Jeremy Clarkson this morning. And no, not that I'm an arrogant prick, but I've got a skylark problem. If you've watched Clarkson's Farm, Series 5, you'll know the episode. Skylark is a protected rare bird, and I've got a similar problem. A landowner was walking me around, owner here local, was walking me around a new hay meadow to us, and my eyes were turned by the lush clover that was waist high. Hang on, I gotta figure out where I'm going with this line. Okay. So my head was turned by the lush clover that was waist high, and the rye, and the amazing amounts of grass that was pretty high quality. Timothy that hadn't gone to flower yet. So about 10 acres. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. And then she says, well, when do you think you cut it? I said, as soon as possible, which could have been yesterday and today. Except I was exhausted yesterday and dealing with this issue. And they said, well, okay, we walked around. She showed me some stones that were of concern and a downed tree that I'd need to move out of the way. And along the way, we noticed bobolinks in the middle of the field. Now, the bobolink is a ground nesting bird. They usually fledge. The chicks are hatched, and they usually fledge between early June to end of June, in my experience. But the Wildlife Conservancy, of which part of this land is conserved by, says you cannot mow before August 1st. And the landowner had read that July 15th was a good date, after which just got zapped. July 15th is a good date after which mowing could happen. So it's the 26th of June. So that's 2-3 weeks away. And that field is going to be cooked. So I had to say, well, we can't cut then. I suggested trying to mow around. They wouldn't have that. So yeah, I'm going to lose what could have been a perfectly good, amazing silage field. I'm going to have to sacrifice it for a couple of birds of a rare endangered species, which is fine. And I'm going to have to make hay out of it. Which, yes, I do need hay, but unfortunately I fear that I'm going to need a lot of hay, or I'm going to be ended up making a lot of hay. And what I really needed was a couple of small silage fields that I could cut right now in this two-day window, and then we get rain, and then we get another 2-day window where I can't cut my neighbor's hay for them because we don't have that 4-day non-wet block of time. And of course, we're setting up for that drought pattern where a 30 or 40% chance of rain is predicted that never comes to fruition in blocks of every other couple days. And meanwhile, we don't take action, we don't drop grass because it could rain, and then it doesn't, in an endless cycle until the grass is cooked. Because sooner or later you just gamble. And with silage, I'm not so worried anymore about just cutting and going. The problem is, the only other silage field I have is over in Thomaston. They don't actually like it cut this early. I really would like to cut it this early. But that's a pretty big, that's a block of my time. I need 3 good days in a stretch, a day to mow everything and a day to rake and bale in 2 different sections and then wrap over there. So And that takes all my equipment over there. And so I can't cut hay here, run over there, do that, and then come back here, because that's so much more land over there. It takes me so much longer to do. So I've got to be cognizant of that. So yeah, there's another field up here that I could hay, pretty sure, but I want to verify with the landowners, and I want to make sure they didn't leave anything in the field like they sometimes do. But I don't have their contact information, and they're usually up for the summer about now. And so I don't know if their plans have changed or what, but I don't want to just go cut it, but I may have to, because they're expecting the farmer that just passed to cut it. And I don't think they're doing hay this year, because some of his other landowners have contacted me about me doing their land, but that's the bobolink field. And another one that has lupins all in it. Lupins are toxic, so I'm not. He may have cut it and risked his livestock, but I'm not going to put lupins anywhere near my cattle. So yeah. All right, I drifted in too far there. I was scrolling on a forum the other day, and I saw someone had posted a picture of this feverfew, or we call them daisies. I think feverfew is the correct name for them. And this has already been grazed when the field was heavy with them, and so these are some that have grown up since. But they were asking how to get rid of them. And everyone weighed in. Oh, those are toxic to cows. Oh, don't make hay with those. Oh, this and that. Oh, you got to spray those off with heavy chemicals, but do it this time of year. This product works. And I was so surprised. I find them absolutely lovely. I've never had any harm from it in the cows. I don't understand why that would be an issue. Grazes just fine. It keeps the species diversity up. Yeah, I don't get why people. Now maybe it makes horses sick, and horse economy drives everything these days. That could be it. But yeah, I love seeing it. I love Kentucky bluegrass is coming up, although it's not very tall. But Kentucky bluegrass is in bloom. It's a lovely thing. A well diverse hay meadow, pasture, grazing cell, block, whatever. Herbal lay is one of the loveliest things in the world. And there was an article the other day, Forbes or something, I don't know, about this Tech Bros plan to suck carbon out of the atmosphere and pump it into the ground with this giant series of apparatus. Well, hello. Grass sucks more carbon out of the atmosphere and buries it in the ground on a daily basis for nothing. But a little care and no tech bros involved. So yeah, I fully believe well-grazed pasture, well-managed pasture, diverse pasture sucks more carbon out of the atmosphere and stores it than most other processes or things. Just walking back through the area the cows grazed last night and yesterday, and seeing they didn't do such a great job cleaning it up. I've given them an equal sized block today. We'll see how they do there. Heifers will clean some more of this up, but in reality I think I'm gonna have to top. I think it would be best. I think as soon as the cows have moved a few more cells that way, I'll find some time to come in here, mow this off, and then spread some manure on it. Hopefully some of the more composted stuff and light coating as I can get it. and I hope that it regrows. Hope we get enough rain to make it regrow in a timely fashion, because this last amount of grass is starting to gain on it. But later in the week when it's so hot, I think I may, we'll see. I may keep the cows in the barn during the day and only graze them at night, and that'll help the pasture grow, but also keep the cows a little better, more happy. These you'll see these dark green tufts amidst the light green regrowth, which is super lush and super rich. Cows are cranking out the milk again. Those dark green patches are wherever they had manure or urinated. So they won't go around those for a few rotations till it gets washed in. Collecting resources to create a new zone for the heifers. I'm just pausing here in the shade. It's I don't know, 78 degrees out, pretty high humidity index, and it's not the hottest day it's going to be this week. We're going to get into the 90s, and I'm just trying to prepare for that next hot stage. It's a shame the cows can't be down here, but we've just rotated them through here, and that was largely because the grass was going by so rapidly down here. I wanted the cows and the heifers to eat off everything. I'm happy to say that despite the heifers just leaving that area like a few days ago, the grass is already starting to regrow really well in the first paddock they were in. It's even in the heat and the minimum amount of moisture we've had falling from the sky, things are greening again and looking pretty good. I'm kind of hopeful that we're going to have a fast recovery. And that area that I mowed and then spread manure on up in the big field, already grazable right now. It'll only improve by the time the cows get there. I was really nervous that it wasn't going to gain enough. So that's making me hopeful this year that topping will be a good strategy. Not that I really want to spend the money on the diesel. Prices still haven't come down, and our tank is almost empty, which is scary, the cost of what that's going to be, because I don't think we got enough money to fill it at the moment. So I am glad the heifers managed to graze through here and are doing well on the tailings of the cows, but I'm going to split them now. I'm not going to graze the heifers in the big field just yet. Behind the cows, because I need to top it. So I'm going to put them over in that section that I was clearing this spring where the grass is so heavy, and I'm just going to let them have at that for a week. I think there's more than enough in there for the heifers. I've got to come up. I've got to pressure wash an IBC tote so that it's clean. It has soap residue in it right now, and then I'll bring that over and feed their trough with a hose out of that. That should be a good setup for them. I've just got to create a temporary paddock with some temporary fencing. I really wish I had permanent fencing over there, because that is one of the spots that's not easy to keep an eye on from the rest of the farm. So I'm going to have to remember to make a concerted effort to go over there a couple times a day and check on the heifers and their water. And not that I don't do that anyway, it's just that place is... We had them break out of that paddock last fall for some reason, the heifers, and they went over to the neighbors, and that's not ideal. I need to get that fence up there. But anyway, not going to happen today. I just need to get something temporary up for the moment. God, the bugs are fierce. So that I can get the heifers moved today. There's a little bit at the top of the pond field that I fenced the cows out of, only because there's a lot of stones and things that they can tear their udders on that I didn't want them getting injured on. The heifers don't have big milk-filled udders. They're light and sprightly, and I think I may just open that section up so they can graze in there for a limited amount of time. Today and tomorrow, we'll see if they give me a lot of hassle and pressure the lines while I'm trying to set up this new paddock. I may just let them in there. That'll also give me an extra reel so that I'll have 3 and some more posts. Because with this double graze situation with the heifers following the cows, I haven't set up any permanent divisions. And so I'm using a lot of the new posts we got and all the old posts we had. So maybe this week. We got a really mixed bag for weather this week. It's going to be like, I should be mowing hay or silage today. I had a little field that I could do and then maybe another one, but it's supposed to rain tonight. A lot. And into tomorrow. And then tomorrow into Tuesday is a good window to do some, but not enough to do a big amount. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looked good originally, and they're going to be in the 90s. Looked good for hay, for making hay, dry hay. But we got 40 and 50% chance of thunder showers and rain on those days. And I just don't know if I want to risk it. But those would be perfect days to really short cure hay. I mean, I can make hay in 2 to 3 days with those kind of temperatures, as long as it's not too humid, as long as we keep tedding it and turning it over. Some of this Timothy has finally been pollinated and starting to go to seed. This is what a unpollinated head looks like. And that's going to seed. And we got a field full of Kentucky bluegrass in bloom, which gives the whole field that purplish tint. That's sort of what happens with the second flush of things. Cows are doing a good job grazing. There's a fairly decent amount of fresh, lush cover ahead of them, which I'm happy to see. Got this storm bearing down on us. I want to get these cows in for milking. Yeah, we're ringed in by weather. There's thunderstorms off to our east. A big system off to the west. More thunderheads to the north. A little bit of thunder rumbling in the distance. You can see it's raining right on the other side of the river on the hills. Right there. So I want to get these cows in and get them milked. So we're not out here fighting weather. Big clap of thunder, and look at those clouds. Crazy. Starting to build out that way. I hope at this rate we do get some rain in all this, because we're a little bit dry. We need to climb out of this drought before we get into the next one. I'm worried that we're going to cycle and that we're going to not have any regrowth because of lack of water. So I'm grateful if this gives us ½ inch of rain. And it also justifies my not cutting hay today, or any kind of silage or forage. So I want to, but I hope we don't get too much rain, because I want to cut tomorrow. I don't think there's any wind coming up to help things dry out. Come on, let's get out of here. I want to get in. Big thunderclouds building out there. I'm over here at Farnsworth doing a grass walk. And I was just about to go to that field. I spotted a little brown furry thing waddling around. I don't know if it's a muskrat or a beaver. Actually, at this distance, now that I see it, it may be a porcupine. Let's go say hello. Well, hello, Mrs. Porcupine. What you doing? Eating my grass. What are you thinking there, sweetie? You gonna let me go around you? Or are you gonna waddle off to the woods? That's a good girl. You head off back to your home. Let me measure my grass. Yeah, good idea. I call it a she, but they're thinking about it at the moment. Waddling away. I'm just gonna measure my grass around and see where they're at when I get back to that point. Oh, I crossed the ditch and so did Quillian. Headed across the field right behind me. Headed for the forest. He's trucking along now. Apart from porcupines and no snapping turtles today yet. The grass over here is growing really well. And I gotta say, except for the odd clump or thick bit, the manure has really absorbed well. You can barely see it for as much as I spread and as black and brown as the ground looked. Yeah, it's, you can almost see more where little wisps of hay that got left behind than areas where there were manure. And so that's promising. I mean, here's a stone that 3 inches of rain we had the other day completely washed things in. So that's great. So that means I've got less to worry about when I cut this for silage. It's just going to be the odd clumps like that I've got to miss. But for the most part, I think I can do that easily. And yeah, I'm liking the amount of grass growth here. We're given rain for tonight, which is why I'm not cutting hay. I didn't cut it yesterday or today. I did cut a little bit of silage today, a little 1 acre plot. It's only gonna be a bale or two maybe. I think the amount of rain that's due tonight may be negligible if we get any. It's really tomorrow night's rain, so I couldn't have cut. It's not quite hot enough. If I'd cut yesterday and it was tedded and tedded today to rake and bale hay tomorrow, later in the week, 3 days should do hay because we're going to be in the 90s. It'll be humid, but we're making round bales. It should be okay. So I'm hoping that tomorrow's Tuesday, I'll get those couple bales off that acre early in the day. It's going to cloud over and rain. And as long as we don't get a ton of rain on Tuesday night into Wednesday, and it clears off Wednesday morning and we got a breeze like right now, because it's close to 80 degrees, but that breeze is really nice. So then I'll cut hay Wednesday. It'll get tedded by Mike on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday should be able to rake and bale it. Maybe rake really early in the day as soon as the dew's off, and then bale it late. Not sure. We do have to watch, because as hot and humid as it's going to be, that's going to trigger thunderstorms. And well, I don't mind risking silage to thunderstorms because it doesn't dry down. It's fairly forgiving. Hay, after it's dry, would be totally damaged by any amount of rain from a thunderstorm. So I got to be careful and watch the weather pretty closely for haying. So I picked up that new set of fields, just up the road here, which is actually perfect. And it's about 13 acres. Now, the non-perfect aspect of it is the bobolinks and a conservation easement requirement that it can't, I can't touch the rest of the field. I'll make hay out of it. I can't touch it before July 15th because bobolinks were sighted. And then 2 acre part of the 13, I can't mow before August 1st because of some other idiotic conservation requirement that I don't even think the Conservancy understands, because if it is for bobolink or some species, it's gonna be cooked. We're getting super hot temperatures this week. So that's what we're doing today. That's why I cleaned and bedded the barn. 3 days, we're gonna be in the hundreds here with the humidity index and the heat index. And so I'm gonna keep the cows in the barn and I'm gonna feed them here at the feed rail during the day. And then at night, they'll go out and graze in the pasture when it's cooler. So that way they have constant access to water. There's a pretty good breeze that rips through here, and it's always in shade during the daytime. So I think they should be pretty comfortable. And if I have to, I can come down here and mist them. Whereas, you know, today it was 78 and there's a nice breeze. So they managed to, and it's starting to get hazy because hopefully, fingers crossed, it rains a little bit tonight. So they've been in the field today. I figured that was a good day for me to clean the barn and get this feed slab cleared off. And so yesterday I went and mowed the other acre of this 13 because it's away, it's off over the other side of the street. So it's this little 1 acre teardrop shaped field. And I was actually surprised. I got 2 bales out of it. And I knew that coming into today, well, I need some more feed for the calves, but I knew that coming into today, I would need to open a couple bales for the cows for the rest of the week during the daytime to feed here. So rather than, because I got 2 bales, rather than wrap and set up to wrap even one of them and open up bales, I'm just going to feed out this fresh green stuff. They should love it. It looks amazing. It smells amazing. And it's chopped, so they should really love the chop. So yeah, I'm just gonna open these up so they dry out a bit more so they don't superheat and get moldy in a couple days. I'm just gonna spread them out a bit in a big mound here, and then I'll feed them this tonight and during the days, and they'll go out and pasture at night. And that should, hopefully, let us ride out this super hot period for the next couple, I think 3 or 4 days. And then tomorrow's Wednesday, the 1st of July, I'm actually going to go top behind where the cows are grazing. They'll be in the barn tomorrow during the day, so I can go out there and they won't be in the way. I'll top that off in the morning and then go mow my neighbor's hay. And we should have 4 good days with the threat of thunderstorms, but hopefully we won't get one. 4 good hot days. So it might only take 3, because he's going to ted the hay as soon as I drop it and it's mowed. He'll start tedding it, and then it'll get tedded all day Thursday, and we'll see what it's like Friday, whether he teds it in the morning and I rake it and bale it, or just rake it and bale it, or rake it Friday and bale it Saturday. I really don't want to work on the 4th of July, but I will if I have to. So, not that we have any plans here, but I expect it'll be busy here. It's been really busy today. It's been hard to get stuff done. The number of customers stopping by. So which is great, not a complaint. Love it. Passive income. As if. So anyway, so this is my strategy. I'm pretty confident that it'll work out. We don't want to see the cows' health suffer or a dip in production. And this will also, having the cows only out partial days, will help the rest of the field gain. Now, we did have a little bit of water, a little bit of rain a day ago, just tiny little bit. Hopefully we get some tonight. It is that time of year where I start worrying, because we are still technically in a drought from last year. So it is that time of year when I start to really worry about the tap getting turned off and us going through yet another drought. But I did a grass walk yesterday. Everything's regrowing, and I think I said that you wouldn't even notice where the manure was spread. So I do need to check to see how I can spread manure on that acre, but I don't have time to do it the next couple days. It would have been nice if I could have had, it took me longer to set up and take down the rake than it did for me to rake the field. It's that small. So it would have been nice if I had a few other fields to do today and get more than just 2 bales. But I'll take the 2 bales because that's 4 days that the cows, or actually longer, but it'd probably be through the weekend. Just see how much of this they eat, because and I'll be feeding it to the calves as well. But this will help buy us some time till it cools down. All right, I am topping an acre of the main grazing pasture this morning before I go cut my neighbor's hay. Cows are in the barn for the day, eating those bales I made yesterday, hopefully. They didn't seem too interested in them this morning. It's already getting close to 80 degrees out, and it's only 10:30, 11 o'clock. Today's not the hottest day, but one of them. So I'm fully expecting the temperature humidity index to be well above what the cows can tolerate, which is why they're in the barn during the day. Hopefully they'll find enough shade. They'll have close access to water and they can just chill out. When I get back from cutting hay, which hopefully won't take me too long, I'll mist down the cows if it seems necessary. I decided I better jump on topping this so that it gets regrowing as fast as possible, but I just hope that in this super hot weather I haven't caused a condition where I'm going to cook the end of the pasture, because that would suck. We did not get the rain the last 2 over 40% rainfall indications we got. It was supposed to rain last night into this morning. Instead it got gray and cool and damp, but no precipitation. We were supposed to get up to a half inch, which I was really counting on, because this pasture needs the water to regrow. Everything needs water to regrow at this point, and I'm worried that we're going to lock into a summer drought pattern because we still haven't climbed out of last year's drought. I think we need another 10 or 12 inches to be normal, just to catch up. So I'm doing this, but we'll see what happens. At least the grass laying down on the ground will help protect the areas where the swaths are and keep them from drying out more in this heat, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is folly or not. If we don't get any rain, this could be a disaster. But there's so much stemmy stuff here. I figure I'll move the line for tonight, turn the cows out tonight. They can eat off some of what I've mown and the rest of their pasture, the paddock I give them. Hopefully this does reset the pasture for good regrowth later. At the very least, this smears around the manure paths so they get absorbed better, and if we do get some moisture coming up next week, I think we've got a spate of hot, clear, dry weather for the next couple weeks, or at least through this week into next week, it looks like. So yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen. It's a crapshoot. The weather this year is so much different than any other year. It's a crapshoot, like I say. Gambling, always trying to make things work out one way or the other, however we got. But I realize why we don't mow this field much. It is Bombay. Now the camera isn't mounted exactly perfect, but I'm jouncing around a lot. So I'm just gonna set to another 10 minutes and I'll have this done, and I'll go up the road and start cutting hay over at Rilo's and see if I can't get that done in a timely fashion without issues.